Hey you guys, I'm Taylor. Welcome back to We Aim to Slay, and welcome back to our festival series. Today is look 2, and this one goes out to my grunge alt baddies, because you know what, we want to have fun. We just don't want to look like we're having fun. Am I right? Let's get started. Starting with primer, I'm going to use Aura Inicia. Because I don't want too much on my face, I'm immediately going in with some setting spray to give some grip. While that was setting, I dampened and beauty blend. I don't want a ton of concealer on my face. I just want enough to make it look like I've actually slept sometime in the last 3 decades. So I'm just going to put some concealer on the back of my hand. This is the Tarte Shape Tape. I wear the color 27S Light Medium Sand. And that's how I want to just kind of I just want to dust it. So I'm just going to blend this out across the eye area because that's where I'm putting the majority of my makeup. And then listen, okay, I'm mixed, so I have a lot of body hair. So I always conceal this, no matter what. And I kind of bring my mustache concealer up to my under eye concealer. I'm running low on the Morphe setting spray, so just to set this, I'm gonna use the Maybelline. This one has a matte finish. I'm not against that, I usually really like a matte finish. I would probably keep using a glowy finish for this look under normal circumstances. While I'm letting the rest of that set, I'm gonna go straight into brows because they always help me. They're like the perfect guideline to make my eye look so that it doesn't go too crazy. Starting with brow wax, this is Morphe Micro Manage. Again, we don't want anything too heavy, so I'm gonna use powder to fill in the brow. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Duo, the shade Ebony. I feel like my eyebrows have just been out of control lately and I cannot get them back on track. Regardless of any eye look, I like to start with a base eyeshadow, so I'm grabbing my fluffy brush and the Kylie Blue Honey palette. I like this color raw, it's just like beige. I just like a neutral shadow to give everything something to blend into. Now is the thing, yeah? I want to do something different, but I also don't want to go too crazy. And I know I say that every single time. That should just be my slogan. I don't want to go too crazy. Flash to me, painted head to toe. We're not doing that. Whew, okay. Grabbing a super tapered brush that somehow still has blue on it. So I need to wash my brushes. And the ColourPop of Quartz palette. We're gonna do kind of a deconstructed Effie from Skin's smoky eye. I'm not sure about the blue yet. We'll figure that out. I'm gonna start with this kind of light taupe shade. And I'm not being very precise. We're going all the way around the eye. I always put so much effort into concealing and then I immediately make it look like I haven't slept again. And it's like, what am I doing? Why am I taking all this time? I'm just leaving some extra out here in case I do end up doing any sort of shape or wing. I'm not sure yet. And actually, I lied. We're not going all the way around. Don't do that inner corner. Let's leave that bare in case you want to make that bright. You can always go back in and make it dark. I think I want to bring it up a little bit higher. To the crease, but not into it. Just kind of covering the lid. We're moving to this color, which is a deeper kind of taupe. We're going to do similar, but we're not going up as high. And then for the bottom, just don't bring it in as far. Go about halfway, because we're going to want to leave space for another color, but also leave the first color for our gradient. Just quickly grabbing a blending brush, I'm just going to kind of clean up this outer edge a bit. Everything got a little bit messy, which is okay, but I don't want it to look like I was just messy in my application. I'm just going to soften those edges a bit so that it looks a little bit more slept in and blurry rather than I have bad precision. Okay, same brush. I know what you're thinking, that we would go here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to grab this sort of coppery gray shimmer, and that's going to be that sort of closer to the lash shade. Yeah, that's fun. Aha. Blending brush. Now we're just going to blend along this whole lid space. I'm just going to add a little bit more to the center. Kind of take it up a little. Same color, we're gonna do the outer a little bit down here. I'm gonna tight line with a black pencil. I don't think I'll make you watch this, so be right back. Okay, eyes are tight lined. I used a black pencil by NYX, and then you know me, I smudged it out using a little bit of black eyeshadow. That was the Inicia Mirame palette. I think I want to do a funky liner, which is like, you're gonna do gemstones. Why are you gonna do a funky liner? I think it'll work. I think I kind of want to do like a smoked out wing using the About Face Red. This is the shade Scream of Consciousness. And then I think I want to do that thing that people do where they use mascara and they kind of like stamp out a shape. And I think I'm going to go like around it. And then because some of these gems are kind of like teardrops, I can do them kind of like it's raining, right? Do kind of, maybe it'll work, I don't know. Just trust. This is what we're doing. So I'm just gonna put some of the red on the back of my hand. And for a change, I am using a silicone liner brush to see if that helps make a difference, because sometimes the bristles mess me up. So I guess we'll see what happens this time. I think it needs to be bigger. Yes. Yes. That was exactly what I was going for. Okay. Now let's see if I can do it again. Don't match. Okay, fine. I'll be right back. I gotta fix this. Okay, so I evened out the liner and I brought some of the red down under the eye, and as you can see, I just used my fingernail to kind of smudge it out. And then I also brought the wings on top in a little bit, not all the way, just a little bit more. From a distance, it just looks like regular run-of-the-mill, like kind of grungy makeup. Up close, it's the blood of my enemies. Okay, so now for the mascara part, which I am kind of worried about because I always do worry that I'm gonna ruin things. This is the e.l.f. Big Mood Mascara. It doesn't come bent. I like to bend my mascara wands. I find them easier to work with that way. And you're just kind of like, damn, I'm worried about this though. Worried I'm gonna do it wrong somehow. I feel like there isn't a wrong way to do this. I'm just still worried it's gonna look weird. And I ruin this. Do I want to run the risk of ruining this? Okay, actually pause. I'm gonna get back to that idea because I like that idea, but I don't know if this is the look for that. I'm gonna keep rocking with where this is going. I'm just grabbing a clean spoolie and I'm gonna add the red to my natural lashes on top before I put on a pair of actual lashes. I'm not gonna make you watch me do this because I feel like this will be tedious. Be right back. So I ended up liking the red as the mascara so much on the top that I did it on the bottom too. And then I selected House of Lashes Macchiato as my lash today because it actually has a really nice blend of red hair in there already. So if you'll bear with me for a second, we can finish up the eye look and move on to the part we're all actually excited for, the gemstones. Okay, so we have a sheet of these rhinestones, and I didn't realize that so many of them are like in a big like set that are like attached to each other. So I'm going to use some of these like teardrop shaped ones kind of like around the eye a little bit. And then there's some like, there's just a few freestanding teardrops and one freestanding rhinestone, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's what we're doing in the middle. Because I got some other ones, but I feel like these are specific vibes, and that's not really what we're doing right now. Okay, I'm going to start with the teardrops. These have sticky stuff on the back already because they are for like crafting and stuff, so I'm hoping I don't have to add more lash glue. I'm obsessed. Okay, now I'm gonna do, there's some that are gray. I'm gonna do a gray one over here. Stop. I'm obsessed. I'm put a gray one on this side a little bit lower. And then same but different, I'll do a black over here on this side. Well, they're amazing, but I feel like I need some on top. We have some that are like a double. I guess I'm just trying to decide, like, would I do it like that? Or would I do like a couple of them? I have an idea. I do feel like we need a centerpiece though. We need something in the middle. I'm gonna use some of the freestanding black ones. I had to find the Doing Dumb Stuff eyelash glue because I'm not using the House of Lashes glue to just glue stuff to my face. That was so difficult, and I didn't even do a good job. Oh, okay. It's this one that's just like, you know what though? I did my effing best. It's pretty. I feel like that's pretty good actually. And it's reading in a very cool way. So that's what counts. We want it to be cool. So we did that. Okay, cool. Gemstone's done. Let's finish the face. Like I said before, I don't want to go super crazy, so I'm not gonna like contour, but I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty 3D highlighter palette in Bronze Sands edition. There's some like bronzier contoury shades like this one, which is called Aruba. I'm just gonna bring a little bit of color back to the outer edges. Yes, I'm gonna buff it out. I'm just placing because there's way too much on my brush right now. Despite that being a literal palette filled with highlighters, I'm not gonna use it as a highlighter. I'm gonna switch to the Benefit Cookie because that is my all-time favorite highlighter. And I'm just gonna like pat because obviously I glued stuff to my face where I usually put my highlighter, so I'm just gonna go around it a little bit. And then using like an actual eyeshadow brush, I'm also going to use this as a little bit of the inner eye highlight because, duh. It's giving Vampire Queen and I'm obsessed. Now we're doing lips. Actually, give me a second. I got to organize because I can't work with this mess. It's chaotic. Be right back. Okay. Chaos lessened. I'm gonna go back to the Aura palette and I'm gonna use this red shade as my blush. So I'm just patting like a fluffy brush in it. This is more of like a powder blush, a powder brush, but this is a very pigmented eyeshadow that just also happens to work as a face powder. And I kind of want to carry that red tone rather than using my usual like corally pink color. And I'm gonna go over my highlight, like I usually would. Okay, now lips. I've got kind of a vampy thing going, so I think I want to keep doing a vampy thing. I actually saw the best suggestion ever by the brand Sunset Makeup, and I unfortunately don't own any of their products, but I'm going to eventually. Where they were like, if you're going to do a black lip, you should put a stain of a different color under it. And I desperately want to try that, but then I went through my makeup kit, and though it is quite literally bursting, you can even see from here, these are all a lot of the same color, just a slightly different variation, which was disappointing to discover, to say the least. I am pulling out the Kylie Cosmetics Dead of Night. I found the lip liner. I'm looking for the lipstick. Oh, I found it. We're gonna want those, but I want to do like a vampy center. I don't even know if Urban Decay still makes this color. This is the color Shame, and Ooh, ooh, this is a mostly full tube. Hell yizzle ma nizzle. Okay, great. I don't know why it's covered in glitter, but that's fine. Oh, maybe I use this for Halloween for my Twilight look as the blood. Anytime I do a vampire look, this is what I use for the blood drippy, because look at that color. Come on, y'all. Amazing. Starting with liner. And I've said this before, I own a black lip liner, but you can use black eyeliner to do this as well. That might have been my best lip lining in the history of ever. Now I'm using the accompanying Kylie lipstick, Dead of Night. I'm just gonna put some on the outer, like, corners. And I'm kind of like applying and stamping and then filling in the gaps. And that's good. Like, I went a little too far in over here, so I guess I have to bring it in a little more on this side. Okay, now I'm grabbing a lip brush and this lipstick, and I'm using a brush because I don't want to get black all over the tube. And also I really want to be able to concentrate the majority of the color in the center and kind of like fade it out. Now you can use the brush to start blending the colors together where they meet. I even want to add a little bit more to the center, I think. There's like one little glitter right there. I feel like you can't see it, but it's there, and it keeps messing with me. Oh wow, look how long my teeth are. Okay, under normal circumstances, I would top this with a clear gloss, but I literally had one in my hand at TJ Maxx the other day, and then I put it back on the shelf. So I'm just gonna use some lip balm. This is the Jack Black Shea Butter Vitamin E version, and because I don't want to get this on my actual lip balm, I'm just gonna use a little bit on my finger, and like same principle, start in the center, work our way out. That's also going to help those colors blend together, because obviously the lipstick is a lipstick finish, but the black lipstick is a matte. So the more I fuss, the worse it's gonna be. All right, makeup's done. I'm going to set this and pick out the outfit, and I'll be back while we do hair, okay? Okay. Okay, outfit is figured out. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you what it looks like because we've got a cool thing going on. But we've got to figure out the hair, and I was so afraid the mic wasn't on. And subsequently, we've also got to figure out the accessories. So, because I'm wearing a turtleneck, it does make me think that the hair should just be up. And I mean, like, we do have something cool going on, so like maybe up is not a bad idea. But I did space buns for the first look that I did. So that's always like my go-to up hairstyle. But I think what I want to do is do like maybe bubble braids. I feel like that will help bring a little bit of fun back into the fact that I did go for a little bit more of an edgier look. Getting a spray bottle of water because I just want my hair to be a little bit more malleable for staying power and to help make the hair just a little bit more cooperative. I'm going to use a medium hold gel. I'm going to be using the Irish Sea Moss Gel by Love Your Curls. I'm just going to take a goodly dollop. Take that much. And I'm just going to start working this through that section. Mostly like, you know, at the top and the front, so that, and these pieces down here that don't like to cooperate. But also all the way through, because I just want to make sure that everything works with me and not against me. Alright, if I was a more coordinated person, I would have had like gotten red hair ties, but I didn't know I was doing this. So I'm just going to be using like the black braiding bands. And I'm going to do them kind of like French bubble braids. I did this over the summer, but I did it on a blowout and it looked really cute. Alright, so I'm taking a section that's like, I don't know, like that. Braiding band. And I'm gonna tie it off. And then I'm gonna tighten this one down. Next, I'm gonna take another section. It doesn't have to be quite as big. That'll do. And we're gonna combine them together. Okay, we also want to pull to tighten this one, but then we want to go back through and kind of puff up that bubble section from where the first, so I like just kind of puffed the bubble up there, okay? Now I'm going to flip the ponytail forward again, grab my next section, we'll combine and tie off, tighten, puff your bubble. And we can come back and puff these bubbles as we go because as you can see, some of them are a little bit tighter than the others. Puff. All right, now this is where we're gonna actually do our bubble braid. You're just gonna wanna have a ton of these bands. You're just gonna tie off sections. If you have naturally curly hair, you might not have to puff the bubbles on this section. Like I don't really need to puff that, but if I made the sections closer together, I might want to. Okay, I'm gonna definitely add at least one more puff and then I'm gonna like bubble off the bottom. But before I do that, I have this temporary hair color by Curlsmith and it's red. And I think I just wanna add a little bit to the ends and then I will tie them off. So it's kind of like fiery. Like, look at that. Okay, and now I'll do my one more puff and then I'll do like one more. Actually, I think I might be able to do like a couple more down here actually now. All right, I'm gonna puff this bubble. And this one. Oh yes. Oh my God. Body's hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Okay, sorry for my personality leaking out for a second there. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side and I'll be right back. We'll do accessories. Okay, nothing illustrates how uneven that haircut was that I gave myself. Quite like how that pigtail sticks out compared to the other one. What am I, fucking Pippi Longstocking? Like, Jesus Christ. Other than that, I think they came out really cool. My hands are covered in red though, so here's what I'm gonna do. I quickly ran them under some water. And I'm just gonna use what's left to add some red to the rest of the hair. And remember, this is technically a gel, so it is going to help kind of like keep everything in place. Just wiping the excess. That's so fun. Okay, now I'm gonna for real wash my hands because they're still covered in red. Be right back. So now it's time for accessories, and ordinarily I'd be like balls to the wall, let's just throw on everything and go crazy. But I feel like there's a lot going on up here, so I don't want to do too much. I was gonna say, I really like a mismatched earring setup normally, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna kind of keep it simple so it doesn't distract. So in the back, I'm putting little heart, they're not hearts, star-shaped hoops, just so there's like a little something. I think in the center, I'm just gonna put some little black studs. Clarify, I have 3 earring holes. And then I'm just gonna put some dangly silver snakes as my front earring because if you know, you know. All right, I'm not gonna do too much more. I feel like that was all we really needed. Guys, I think we've done it. So this was look 2 in my festival series for the grunge alt baddies. Tell me what you think. I'm gonna go photograph this. Till next time, bye guys.